What a game it was Sunday between the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals. Arizona had their playoff lives on the line. Carolina trying to play spoiler. They've been in so many close games throughout the year because they closed one out finally here in the Military Bowl. It's quiet now, but the scene earlier from Pirate Nation was tremendous. They showed out and it paid off. Let's take a look back at a crazy game between ECU and NC State. Certainly a consequential day, one that Pirate football fans will not forget anytime soon, because after back-to-back losses, after back-to-back blowout losses, John Gilbert says they have not seen the results they expected out of Mike Houston. Following a 2-10 season in 2023, they felt now was the time for a change. You see the aggressiveness from this Pirate offense for the second straight game. The defense was smothering, knocked Cam Fancher out of the game early, and from there, that was pretty much all she wrote. Look at this. This is a Brent Burns recipe. We got bacon wrapped Oreos, I should say. It's definitely fried, but a bacon wrapped Oreo. So we got folks out here. We got tailgate pictures. She's from New Bern, and they're loving it. I'm going to take a bite of this bacon wrapped cookie, Brian, while I send things back to you in the studio. And obviously it's a high-powered offense that 71st brings to the table tonight. When you look at this matchup, what are the biggest keys in getting another big win, trying to extend the season one more week with your guys? They're under construction. We'll talk about some construction on ECU's campus at 6, but Ken, it's a new Littorial team next year.
Only 2 players on the roster last year will be on the roster next year. Whole new thing.
And Van Allen Lubin, maybe?
Probably not. He's gone.
It was a day Pitt County softball had waited nearly the entire calendar year for. A chance to avenge their loss in the Little League World Series championship last year. They had been dominant all World Series long this year, but the Southwest champs from Sterlington, Louisiana had only allowed 1 run the entire week. A packed house inside ECU's softball complex at Joyner Family Stadium for the championship game. And it was Braylon Johnson who was tremendous in the circle for Pitt County. Allowed just 1 hit, struck out 7 over 6 innings of work. The game remained scoreless into the 5th. Hits were hard to come by, but Anna Rose able to get some 2-out magic and a single put the runner on. Candace Lynn, the next batter, and she comes up with the biggest hit of her life, lining one over the left fielder's head for Southwest. Rose comes all the way around from first to score the game's first run. An RBI triple for Lynn, firing up the crowd and making it a 1-0 lead for Pitt County. Needed just 3 outs from there, and Johnson gets the strikeout to end the game. Pitt County wins it 1-0 the final, and they clinch a Little League Softball World Series title in front of a packed house of home fans in Greenville. Welcome inside Bank of America Stadium here in Charlotte. What a game it was Sunday between the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals. Arizona had their playoff lives on the line. Carolina trying to play spoiler. They've been in so many close games throughout the year because they closed one out finally. Let's find out. Before the game, former ECU star Zay Jones warming up for the Cardinals, while Panthers owner David Tepper with Ron Rivera, the all-time winningest Panthers head coach. Panthers offense wasted no time on their first drive, going 70 yards in 15 plays. Nearly 8-minute drive capped by a Chuba Hubbard 4-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Cats. Second quarter, after an Arizona field goal, Bryce Young takes off for the 23-yard touchdown. PAT missed wide left, so it's 13-3. Cards were down as many as 17, but able to get back in it just before the half. It's Kyler Murray hitting DJ Dallas for the 1-yard touchdown. It's a 20-17 game at the break after both teams trade field goals in the third quarter. How about this throw from Bryce Young in the 4th? He hits David Moore for the back shoulder, 18-yard touchdown. The Panthers back up by 10. Looks like the game was over. Far from it, as Kyler Murray breaks off a 20-yard touchdown run to keep Arizona in it. The Panthers can't run out the clock, so Arizona gets the ball back, and Chad Ryland boots a 58-yard field goal, ties the game at 30. We're going to overtime. After both teams trade punts on their first possessions, Panthers ground game ends this one as Hubbard races in for the game-winning 21-yard touchdown. The Panthers win it 36-30 in overtime. They knock Arizona out of the playoffs, snapping a 4-game losing streak in the process.
To be able to show our style, great effort, great enthusiasm, great toughness, playing smart, and finish. You know, the final piece of that, you know, it was really special to me, so that we can feel what that feels like to play our brand of football.
To see, fall short a couple times and then be in a game like this where we come out on top, it just shows that, you know, trusting the process is going to work out, and what we're building here is going to show sooner or later.
The close ones hurt the most, so it's kind of like outside of last week, I think we lost like 4 straight close ones, if I'm not mistaken. So it feels good to get this win.
Man, players over there calling our team trash and all that. So yeah, that's tough for them to be going home like that, but it is what it is.
So what a game we had here in Charlotte Sunday. Welcome into this special edition of The Final Score here from the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, the site of the 107th PGA Championship. I'm Zach Kaplan. So much of the talk entering the competition this week surrounded what the course didn't provide golfers, as much of a test as they see in other majors, maybe not as interesting as other majors, but this final round certainly entertained. Some of the world's best were put to the test. Scotty Scheffler was the leader after 54 holes at Quail Hollow, the world #1 golfer. For much of the front nine, it looked like the drama would be minimal as Scotty saves par on the par 4th, 5th hole, but around the turn for Jon Rahm, he began to heat up. The Spaniard with the birdie on the par 4 8th to draw within 3 shots of the lead. On the par 5 10th, he notches another birdie and moves to 8 under for the tournament. Meanwhile, Scotty trying to save par to close his front nine, but he cannot get the putt to fall, so it's Rahm with an opportunity on 11 to draw even with Scheffler, and he capitalizes. The two were dead even at 9 under par for the tournament. Rahm, a 2-time major champion himself, and it was on. The world's #1 player picks himself up, though, on the 10th. Scotty with a birdie putt, and he regains the outright lead to start the back nine. He extended to a 2-shot lead with another birdie on 14, and by doing so, putting the pressure on Rahm to match. After a bogey on 16, Rahm goes right at the flag on the downhill par 3 17th, but it skips left off the green and into the water, clearing the way for Scotty. He added another birdie on 15 for insurance and sinks this putt on the 18th green to become the 2025 PGA champion. It's the 3rd major win for Scheffler after winning the 2022 and 2024 Masters, while Rahm is left to wonder what might have been a year after being put in handcuffs at last year's PGA Championship at Valhalla in Louisville. The 28-year-old Scheffler is halfway to a career Grand Slam and remains at the top of his game and the sport.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of happiness. I think, maybe thankful as well. I mean, it was a long week. I felt like this was as hard as I've battled for a tournament in my career. I mean, this was a pretty challenging week. I mean, the first 2 days I did not swing at my best, and I was able to post a score somehow. And, outside of the last 5 holes yesterday, that's where I really kind of put myself ahead in the tournament.
So congrats once again to Scheffler on his 3rd major championship win. The Tarboro Vikings go for a 10th state title on Saturday in Raleigh when they take on undefeated Corvian Community. It marks the 8th straight year Jeff Craddock has led the Vikings to a state title game, but it will mean a lot more than just a ring if they win. There are many things that associate this Tarboro team with so many Viking squads that have been championship caliber. They've only allowed 12 points in their entire playoff run thus far, and now Jeff Craddock wants to send his seniors out the right way as they play in one final game on Saturday.
I want it for them more than anything, but they also know that wanting it and getting it's 2 different things. To be able to celebrate with this group of seniors would be something very, very special that I'm sure I'd remember forever.
It's a dream to make it this far, and I've made it all my 4 years. So it's a good feeling to just be able to do it again, because not many people get this opportunity to make it.
Everyone wants to go out as a senior on top. And that's bragging rights for the senior class. It's been a lot of hard work. You want to earn your own. You work so hard. You want to go out the right way.
Going out the right way means a little more this year to Craddock. He has coached the sons of many at Tarboro High School, but on Saturday he'll have one final chance to coach his youngest son, Cole. And it was something Cole said post-game after an Eastern Finals win over Wilson Prep that has stuck with the normally stoic head coach.
He's a great coach. Everyone knows that. He's even better father. I love him to death. I want to go out the right way with him. It's been a pleasure growing up around Tarboro football all my life. That's my last home game. But he's a great coach. Like I said, better father.
He made a comment about me being a great dad, and say the same about him, meaning he's a great ball player. He's a better son. He's brought a lot of good things, and it means a lot to me. It's sad, but it is what it is.
Father-son relationships help define the sport, and the Craddocks look to make one more lasting memory together and bring another title back to Tarboro in the process.